All right. So this is Andrea and Brandy. We're working on our interview assignment for NTR 401. Um, and I'm going to start by asking Brandy some questions. Brandy, can you talk briefly about your personal and professional passions in life?
My personal passions include healthy eating, being physically active, and painting. And my professional passions include volunteering, educating others about the aspects of healthy food consumption, and creating content for social media.
Awesome. Can you describe like a difficult situation or conflict and how you worked your way through it, how you overcame it?
My most difficult situation was very likely my early retirement from the military due to post traumatic stress disorder. It took quite a few years to find my passion again, and I was able to slowly overcome it by putting myself out there, making myself go to in person classes rather than doing them online, and finding what drives me, and that is the love of food and understanding how it works with our bodies.
That's awesome. What do or have you liked or disliked about any current position you have or previous positions?
I'm currently a full-time student right now. I am retired from the military, which was my longest career. I was a military police officer in the Army. I loved everything that it entailed, from the camaraderie with soldiers that became lifelong friends to enforcing military standards while driving on the post, like roads.
Great, great. Can you identify three of your strengths and maybe one weakness that you might have?
My first strength would be my creativity. My second strength is my passion, like my drive for helping others, and my third would be my attention to detail. My one weakness is that I find I can be way too critical of myself. I tend to overanalyze things, and I feel at times I could have done more even if I did well on the job.
Great. And finally, where do you see yourself professionally in the next 5 years?
While I'm in school now for nutrition, I do plan to use the bachelor's degree that I attained to be able to fast track into another bachelor's degree for nursing. Um, I currently do not need to work due to my retirement, but I would love to open my own gym and offer nutrition advice, or end up working in a medical spa for aesthetics.
Great, great. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. So my name is Brandy Vincent, and I am going to be interviewing Andrea. Question one: what are your personal or professional passions in life?
Um, my passions in life are what have led me to nutrition in the first place. Ever since I was a kid, I've really been passionate about science. Learning about something, conducting an experiment, collecting the data, and then drawing a conclusion from that, I've loved since I was a kid. And I also love the idea of holistic health, like the health of the entire person, their physical health, their mental health, and spiritual health, if that's something that's important to the person. And I'm also really passionate about health being attainable to everyone, regardless of their socioeconomic status or their location or their educational background. So, one thing that I love in my personal life is gardening. One, for the healthy food that that can provide, and also the therapeutic effect it can have. You know, you're out in the sun, you're getting vitamin D, you're working with the earth, and you're creating something that can make you feel really good about yourself.
Oh, that's really awesome. Next question is: could you describe a difficult situation or possible conflict and how you were able to overcome it?
Yeah, well, actually, being here is part of my resolution to that conflict. About 8 years ago, I found myself working in a field that I had been in for 20 years. It was retail, and I was good at it, and I liked a lot about it. But it was also a field that was struggling just as a whole and shrinking. And every time I was trying to achieve the next step, like maybe a new management position or a district position, those positions were being eliminated because retail as a whole was just struggling. So I went back to some of my passions I had from when I was a kid, like science, and like some of the things that I was doing in my personal life that I really enjoyed doing, like gardening and cooking um, and things that I become passionate about recently. Like a few years ago, I had a son, and this threw some kinks into my life plan. He was, you know, a pleasant surprise, but it created some financial difficulties that I had never experienced in my life before, and I really began to see how important it was for people to have access to resources to help them through that. And I was luckily the recipient of some of those amazing resources, and I became passionate about paying that forward and making sure that I continue to keep people feeling like they can do this no matter where they're starting from, and you know, every small little step they make can help improve their health and their whole well-being.
Oh, wow, that's really awesome. Next question. What do or did you like or dislike about your current or previous position?
Okay. I have, in every position I've ever had, I've always enjoyed working with my coworkers. I've enjoyed the collaboration and teamwork and coming up with solutions to problems or challenges. Uh, Challenges that I've had at some jobs, like my current position, I'm currently a barista at Starbucks, and we are held to standards of very quick. The store I work at is a drive-through only, so we have standards of a very quick window time. We want to get that customer what they need and get them along their way to work in a quick amount of time, between 30 and 40 seconds. But there's also a strong emphasis on creating connections with customers, and sometimes that can feel contradictory. Like we're only supposed to meet with them for 30 seconds, but we also want to create a connection. So ways that we've overcome that is we've gone back and in areas where maybe some people were struggling, we've done some reinforcement training to make people more efficient. And with that efficiency came, you know, the feeling that that 30 seconds felt a lot longer than it really was, and we were able to keep making those connections with customers. And there's a lot of customers that we know their names, how many kids they have, like what their job is. So that's how we've kind of overcome something that I wasn't, you know, it felt a little contradictory in my job, but that's how we've overcome it before.
Mhm. Next question would be, what are three of your greatest strengths and one of your weaknesses?
Okay, one of my strengths I have is patience. I have been told this by many supervisors I've had in the past, and in previous work I've usually almost always found myself in a training type of position. So I'm entrusted with new hires and training them in the company code of ethics, down to like how to steam milk for a latte or versus a cappuccino. So I have a lot of patience in teaching people and communicating with them. I also have a great deal of perseverance. I'm not gonna quit until I feel like I've reached some level of success at a project. Um, and then I also have a strong emphasis on being positive. I want interactions with either a supervisor or coworkers or clients to be positive, and I want people to walk away feeling like they've been listened to and respected. um, One thing I have struggled with in the past is if I have maybe some strong feelings about a solution to a problem, like communicating those in a way that I felt comfortable with.
Mhm.
And when I worked in retail, I was a sales support supervisor, and we'd have challenges sometimes. Like, you know, we have a really full sales floor already, but the company's going to launch a new brand, and we have to like find room for it. So we would hold meetings, and I would find ways to communicate my opinions. I would draw my plans out, explain them carefully, why I felt like things would work in a certain way, um, while still maintaining that positivity and being open to compromise and listening to everyone else.
Okay. And final question is, Where do you see yourself professionally in 5 years?
Professionally, in 5 years, I will be working in my community, making sure that everyone has access to knowledge and the materials they need to attain the healthier lifestyle they're trying. I want people to feel like it's not something that they have to like blow up their whole world, and that can maybe lead them to feel like it's unattainable. But you can start with baby steps, like starting out with making the carbs that you eat in your life whole grains, or complex carbohydrates, just making that switch from whole bread instead of white bread,
Mhm.
whole grain bread, helping everybody feel like they can be successful at being healthy. All right. I think that concludes our interviews for each other. We appreciate you watching. Thanks very much.
Thank you.